Our next guest is Jeff Larson. Jeff is the data editor of ProPublica, which that organization, ProPublica, does a lot of terrific reporting. Jeff himself does fine reporting, and in fact, he's won the Livingston Award. Jeff has just done a story on the NSA and new revelations. He's done. I think the story was done in conjunction with the New York Times and the Guardian in Britain. That says that Angry Birds and other smartphone apps are accessible to secret agencies, spying agencies. In fact, it begins when a smartphone user opens Angry Birds, the popular game application, and it describes what it does. Spy agencies have plotted how to lurk in the background to snatch data revealing the player's location, age, sex, and other personal information. And as we learn in the story, it gets worse. And to add insult to injury, the story even shows an illustration from a top secret document which shows a sort of fairy, flying around and with his magic wand, I guess, opening up data through these apps or something. I don't know. It's banality of espionage evil, I guess. Jeff, thanks so much for being with us on Take Action News.
Thanks for having me.
Did I absolutely maul the content of your story, or was I on the right track?
You were on the right track. I mean, both Britain's GCHQ, which is their version of the NSA, and the NSA, like smartphones as intelligence devices, because these smartphones leak personal information, not just through Angry Birds, but through other applications. And they call these smartphone applications leaky apps. And they're really, really interested in scooping up data that travels over the internet and private cell phone networks from these leaky apps about their targets.
And what's their legal justification for this? Are they saying because it's being transmitted through the air that they have a right to grab it, or is this something else that's of questionable legality or clear illegality? Where does that side of it stand?
Well, we asked the NSA about that, and they said that we asked both agencies about that, and the NSA came back to us saying that they don't profile everyday Americans when it carries out its foreign intelligence mission. They are legally required to minimize Americans' data, but they do admit that there is some incidental collection of Americans' data through these programs. They also have protections for innocent foreign citizens. The British, the GCHQ went a little bit further and said that all of these activities are, compliant under British law.
So when you heard that NSA answer, did you experience a certain sense of deja vu? Because it seems to resemble the answers they initially gave about their phone and email spying programs as well, which turned out not to be precisely true.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of their stock answer for stories. They gave it to us. They gave us that answer. Or something close, similar to that answer when we reported on the Snowden docs last time about their spying on internet video games with World of Warcraft and Second Life. The story that we did before that about encryption, they actually went a step further and asked us not to publish that story about their capabilities against strong encryption on the internet.
Interesting. Now, on this one, obviously, you guys used Angry Birds because, it's attention-getting and all that. But how many apps do we think may have been or are vulnerable to being accessed in this way?
Well, it depends, right? Because, because technology changes, and apps change, so it's hard to tell in the current... like right now exactly what they're doing, but we have found going as far back from 2008 that they were tapping things like Google Maps. We found in 2000, over the course from 2008 to around 2012, that they were looking at apps like, Twitter, Facebook, Flickr. They were, tracking images. When people upload images, they were trying to extract data from that. But what's really interesting about the Angry Birds document is it's not just the apps that you're running, like Angry Birds. It's also the advertising companies that you don't know are on your phone that are transmitting this sort of personal data over the internet.
Well, and I noticed that you talked about Millennial being one of the ad companies that they access, which has much more detailed, appears to have much more detailed personal information there. You include some lines of code, which if you can read at all, make sense of code. Marital status null, marital status single, marital status divorced, engaged, relationship, swinger. That one is bound to catch a little bit of attention. So are you saying that with this program, the NSA can potentially know if people are single, divorced, or swinging, as they say?
Sure, yes. It's clear. We have to pause for a second and point out that this was just a study of the things that they could grab from millennial media, not necessarily that they were. We do know that in Google's case, they are using, they are able to read the information or have been in the past able to read the information in Google advertisements. But again, right, it's 2012 when we asked them about whether or not they put it into place. They gave us that stock language answer back.